Hi, and welcome to Planet Access. We are here with Jess Hartley, our first interview here at Connecticon 2007. Now, Jess, you are write for White Wolf?
Mm-hmm. I do. I write fiction novels and role-playing games for White Wolf Game Studio.
So tell us about writing role-playing games. Tell us about doing that. What is that specifically?
Well, normally I've been part of a team between 4 and 7 people working on a specific book for a specific game line. White Wolf has various game lines like Werewolf the Forsaken and Mage the Awakening, and sorry, I had to debate with myself. Awakening, Ascension,
Ascension
something.
Before, yeah.
It's one of the A names.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll have a developer who contacts the various writers and says, I'm working on a book with this kind of a theme, and I'm looking for people to be part of a team. Do you want to take on 20,000 words on this particular subject matter? And work cooperatively with the other members of the team. Most of us are remote freelance writers, so we'll be scattered out across the globe. Some people in England, and I'm in Western Massachusetts. But a lot of times, the only time you actually communicate with each other is via email, and so that kind of helps us overcome the timeline difference, the time zone difference.
Now, with the writing the role playing games, writing the story stuff. You said you write other fiction, so when you get into the role-playing aspect, do you have to worry about the rules, or is that part of the collaborative team effort where, are you writing specifically the, rule, passages and stuff like that, or is it?
Oh yeah, we all, for the most part, although in a given book you'll have sections with just fiction, sections with kind of setting material, and sections that are very mechanic intensive. Yeah. For the most part, all of us write some aspect, some portion of all of the aspects. There are people whose specialty is the number crunching and the mechanics aspect. But most of us, write at least some portion of them. You have to have a good working knowledge of the rules in order to, even if you're just writing the fiction, you have to have a good working knowledge of them so that you understand how the rules affect the reality of the situation, and you don't have your character doing something that's mechanically impossible. Right. Because I guarantee it, if you do, the people that are reading will grab it. They know the systems better, I think, than any of us writers do.
I know. One of the things that's certainly enjoyable about White Wolf is getting that book and having the different parts of the different fiction. Like there's different little short chapters or whatnot. But yeah, they do seem to kind of like fall into the rules or the tribes or whatever, the different clans or whatever, for
whatever the
whichever
focus
game.
is for that book. And we try to do that very specifically. A lot of times with White Wolf books, between the different chapters, there'll be one page of fiction, and sometimes sometimes it'll be a consistent story throughout, so you'll have a blurb at the front and then one page of fiction throughout the rest of the chapters. And sometimes we try and keep those as a cohesive story, but even if they're not, even if the individual little stories are all completely unrelated to each other, we do try to tie them in so that they're tying into the theme for that chapter. So if you've got a chapter that's going to be about antagonists, you're going to have an opening fiction piece that's about your characters dealing with antagonists of some sort or that sort of thing. So it actually is intentional.
Yeah. So you've had the experience, writing for White Wolf. Have you had experience writing for other gaming companies or other specific games?
I've written, for White Wolf, I've written in both their Exalted and their World of Darkness series, which are two different games. They use somewhat similar mechanics, but they're very different worlds. I do write original fiction, and I've had some of that published. I haven't had my novel published yet. I'm still shopping that around. So if any of you publishers are looking for a really good vampire novel, I know where you can get one. I've done some editing for Steam Power Publishing, which is a small role-playing game company over in the UK. They're very, very nice people. I edited Etherscope, the Lemurian Candidate, which was a role-playing game supplement for Etherscope that was up for an NE last year, which was very, very nice. So, very fun writing by Andrew Kendrick, which was very interesting. And I've edited some other stuff for him, but pretty much
it's kind of along that steampunk type of.
Kind of, yeah. It's set in modern times, but has kind of a steampunk feel to it, which was a lot of fun. Very fun. Promethean the Created is a game where the characters are constructs. They're beings that were created out of human bodies, dead human bodies, and then brought to life. But the thing that comes to life, the Promethean, is not the person that the body was before it died. So if you were killed and brought back as a construct, you wouldn't be you. It wouldn't just be you with amnesia. You're a totally new person. And the goal in Promethean is the characters have a drive to become human. They are trying to understand what it is to be human and to attain their humanity. And it's a very interesting game for those who are interested in history, because while it is in a completely modern setting, it's set in the world of darkness, it does harken back to a lot of historic themes, like the alchemical theme runs very strongly through it. Each of the 5 different character types have a different type of humor that is prevalent with them. So you've got the ectoplasmic humor and the melancholic and that sort of thing, and that influences their personalities. And each of the different types of Promethean also, their lineage is based roughly on a historic construct of some sort. There are the Galateans that are based off of the story of Pygmalion and Galatea, and there's the Frankensteins that are obviously based off of Dr. Frankenstein, and the Olgans, which are based off of a Siberian myth of Siberian shamans that were torn apart by the spirits in order to attain their ability to communicate with spirits and that sort of thing. It is totally different, which was really, it made it a joy to work on. I didn't get to work on the core book, but I was brought in by Matthew McFarlane, Black Hat Matt, who was the developer for all 4 of the supplements, and had a chance. They did something kind of unique. Most of the time with the ongoing game lines, Vampire, Werewolf, and Mage, because they have so many different books coming out at any given time, they have a wide range of writers, and you'll pull in, these 4 writers for this book and these 5 writers for this book, and you may not even know, if you're writing on a Mage book, you may not even know what other Mage books are coming out, let alone who's writing on them and what they're writing. But with the Promethean stuff, Matt was given the opportunity to create a team, and he had the same basic core team working on all 4 of the supplement books for the series, which gave us the opportunity to both work a lot faster, because we were all very familiar with the game system, but it also gave us a chance to work a lot better as a team, because instead of working on one book, you're working on it for a couple of months and then you go on and you're doing something else. We had a good 6 months where we were working wham, 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 and we had all of the outlines ahead of time and knew, okay, we don't have to touch on that in this first book because it's going to be touched on in the 3rd book. And that was really a luxury that you don't get very often in role-playing games. And I think it shows, because I think that the supplements are all very cohesive, and there's not a lot of extraneous material in there because we did have that structure to work with.
Thank you for coming on our show and talking to us and telling us all about, sounds like some really great stuff coming out with White Wolf and your work, and wish you the best of luck with your continued work.
Thank you very much for inviting me to interview.
Not a problem.
Thanks.
All right.